Week 9 at the Drew League, and it was all about the NBA pros. We have all the highlights, all the details, and a little begging up next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Get hype. We're back. Week 9 of the Drew League. Me with no voice. I'm Jill Munroe with the sexy deep voice or something like that. I don't know. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. To my left,
I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can follow me everywhere. I'm Josh _Rodriguez _ Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, all that good stuff. DeAnjilo.
Hit me up, guys, on Twitter at DeAnjilo TV, at DeAnjilo on Instagram. I miss you guys.
I missed you too. I know.
What? Let's never go this long without seeing each other again.
It doesn't really work.
Let's put it in right
I know. Let's put it on the Drew. 1, 2, 3 on Drew.
I'm non-committal.
All right. Well, week 9 in the Drew League. Weeks 8 and 9, actually, because we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
I know you missed us so much. But we're here to talk about the 2 weeks. And the story of the last 2 weeks has undoubtedly been the pros showing out. It's the end of July. It's not an Olympic year. So the pros are descending on the Drew League. We have seen Lou Will. It was really a Houston Rockets fest. We've seen a lot of them show up. So there's Lou Will, CP3 on the sideline, James Harden. We saw Andre Drummond of the Detroit Pistons, Stanley
Johnson, Pistons.
Stanley Johnson,
Swaggy P.
Swaggy P as usual, Frank the
Davis.
Tank Kaminsky.
Yeah. Montreux for
Harris.
the Rocket. That's
Montreux
another
Harrell.
Rocket. Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, he's a Clipper now. He got traded.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Lou is on the Lakers now too.
Oh,
so,
he's on the Clippers now.
Oh,
So
Clippers.
that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
A
that.
lot of people involved in
Everybody
that
flipping
trade.
around.
Yeah.
They just decided to
so-
come to the Drew League.
You know, and show out. We had DeLon Wright from the Toronto
Right.
Raptors. So a lot of pros. Of course, each week there's been a pro that has been the player of the week. Last week it was Lou Williams. He went for 50 in his first
course he
debut
would.
appearance at the Drew League.
That's what you do.
Listen, sweet Lou, we want to see you do that with the Clippers.
It's a lot easier to do it against Drew League talent. Nothing against the
True
Drew League,
indeed,
but this is
true
not the
indeed.
pros right now.
Right, it's not. So, but we need some of that firepower with the Clippers because the Clippers are going
yes,
to
you
be a
do.
little different.
A little bit.
I like the Clippers still. I'm not going to lie. I don't think they're bad. At point guard they got from Europe, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But if you watch highlights of him, he's ridiculous. He's probably the best passer to enter the league in a long time. I know Lonzo looks good right now, but this guy is really good. And, you know, they got a lot for CP3. It's not like they didn't get anybody for him.
I mean, I know,
They'll
but
be
just
good as long as Blake Griffin doesn't get hurt. Oh wait.
What?
He's gonna get hurt.
So, DeAnjilo, what are you saying? They're going to be bad.
I mean, I think they'll be good as long as Blake Griffin stays healthy.
All right.
Yeah.
so
Sorry, I know your Clippers are. It's
you
a
know,
hot, it's a
that's
sensitive spot.
a
I bring that up with
sensitive
you.
spot.
It's like bringing up the Knicks with him. It's just like that's the end of the show.
Soft
He's
spot.
He's gonna go on.
Yeah, it turns into me ranting.
So we're gonna pause on that.
So
We
we'll
might
let
have
it
a
go.
conversation about
We'll let
that
it go.
because you might be getting a gift allegedly. So we're gonna talk about that later.
we'll see.
You know, just yeah. So Lou Williams went for 50 on
Right.
LA Unified. They are surging as of late. One of the teams that we are looking forward to seeing in the playoffs. You know, this is the final league week, the final week of the league coming up, week 10. So playoff positioning is so very important.
But is it, though? Here's the thing, because a lot of these teams didn't have these pro players throughout the season. So now you get these pro players in the playoffs, and you're just a completely different team. As long as you're in the playoffs, does it really matter?
You gotta
like,
make
is
the
the one
playoffs.
seed really a one seed in this?
I would agree with you on that. The seeding probably, well, it might, because you might play a team that
Right.
just has a lot of firepower and you don't have anything and your strength is like bullying people out the paint or something like that.
Right.
So I think that matchups can matter, but you don't really know who you're going to play
Right.
necessarily on
Right.
any given night. So it's kind of like surprise.
We're here.
You know, guess who's playing tonight?
Oh, it's James Harden. Great.
Yeah. Andre Drummond made his debut last weekend as well. He played for BB4L. They had 2 games last weekend.
I just want to say how hilarious it is to watch him try to be a guard and like be successful at it too, because you know in the NBA he's a big man, he kind of stays in the paint, but in the Drew League he was kind of like dribbling and trying to make plays and stuff, and he was doing it, and it was kind of funny to watch.
But don't you think in 2017 basketball over the past couple of years that the big man role obviously has changed a great deal, and now all big guys want to be able to handle the rock a little bit and then
Right.
pull the ball out to the 3 and shoot J's. Like they
Yeah,
aren't really
they-
interested in traditional
but
big
we,
man stuff.
But we haven't seen that from him with his time in the NBA, so I didn't even think he can do half of the things that he can do.
But
he's an NBA athlete, and he's
Yeah.
actually one of the better players in the NBA, so it doesn't really surprise me. But it was just, I was laughing watching the highlights. Like I was like, Andre Jordan, are you serious right
I
now?
mean, I guess he can just get loose. He can do what he wants, right?
Yeah, why
'Cause
not?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Right.
Right? Who's gonna check me? So let's check out the highlights from Week 9.
Right.
We have those, so take a look.
Well, we have Harden highlights, and we have. But yeah, let's go to the Harden highlights before we do the crippled Clipper Darryl.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I just have James Harden highlights because he basically. This is right.
Oh no, that's Clipper Darryl. Well, what you're seeing now is Clipper Darryl begging CP3, who was on the sideline, to come back. He's pledging his love and allegiance.
What do you think CP3's thinking right here?
I think he's thinking it's great.
Hey, I think he was laughing.
He
in
loves
the video
it.
of him
He's with his
smiling.
son. I mean, James Harden cock
Security
blocked
came, but
that.
then James Harden came over.
security. Like, I think it was great.
And then
I
he
think
went
it's-
over to dap him up, and like
Yeah.
CP3 dapped him up or whatever. So it was cool.
I feel like that's a great moment for the fans that were there too, because that's
Yeah.
probably how a lot of them feel.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a way of showing appreciation for what Chris Paul did while he was here with the Clippers.
Best player in franchise history.
No doubt.
But, you know, didn't mean that much.
No, it didn't. But he's still
Never
the
got
best.
out of the second round. This is from a Clipper fan. I never thought Chris Paul deserved a statue, but
He deserves his jersey to be retired.
No
you
doubt.
think so?
As a Clipper,
I mean,
absolutely.
what-
He's the best player that franchise has ever seen.
The
If
most
you're not going to
successful
retire his
franchise has
jersey.
ever had. She needs a couple
Yeah, it's
years.
all right.
She's still recovering.
It's okay.
I just-
The breakup is fresh. It's
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
The
This is
wounds-
what it is.
The wounds are
I
open.
feel
Appreciate it
you.
later.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I feel you. He was the best player. I know that injuries played a big role in what happened with the Clippers, but I also feel like the collapses stick out because
yeah.
they were so that 3-1 to Houston, the fact that they never got out of the second round, that's
Right.
huge to me.
Well,
You're right.
Huge.
huge.
My thing with the Clippers, the 3-1 year was the worst year because I legitimately think they could have made the finals that year. That was the first year the Warriors.
heartbreaking.
That was the first year the Warriors won their championship, and I think they were still kind of vulnerable. And I think the way the Clippers were playing basketball going into Game 5 of that series, they looked like the best team in the West. Like if they would have closed out the Rockets in 5, beat them by 20, however much they were up, I think a lot of people would have thought, wow, they can probably beat this Warriors team. And I think they would have had a legitimate shot. Don't know if they would have done it, but they would have had a legitimate shot. You know, LeBron without Kyrie, LeBron without Kevin Love. Who knows what could happen in the NBA Finals? That team could have won the
And
NBA
they were
Finals.
good that year. They were cruising,
Yeah.
and that's also at the height of the Clippers-Warriors rivalry, and that's
Yeah.
what broke it. After that, it was just like,
was it.
womp,
Yeah.
womp,
Yeah.
womp.
Yeah.
So sad time. So I mean, I thought it was really cute. I enjoyed it. I even liked that James Harden got in on it. It was like one of those like celebrity game moments. Reminded me kind of like Clipper Deal, like the Harlem Globetrotters, where they come and throw glitter. I mean, you know what I mean? Just like a lovable. He's the mascot of the Clippers. I know it's Chuck Condor, but really it's Clipper Darryl. If you think about
That's
it.
his name, Chuck?
The Clippers mascot,
Yeah.
yeah, Chuck, because I feel like I believe Converse endorses it.
Yeah.
So, Chuck Taylor's, Chuck the Condor.
Does Clipper Dow
Branding.
make appearances at the Drew League, or is this like a one-time thing knowing that
No,
Chris Paul's gonna be there?
he comes out quite a
I
bit.
haven't seen him this year.
Well, now that the pros are there,
Right.
everybody tends
popping
to.
now.
The
It's
gym is
The gym
yes.
is absolutely packed. So much hype.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
I mean, for free, you get to go and see NBA talent. It may
Right.
not be NBA level competition, but NBA talent on the court, up close and personal for free.
And they care. They're
And they do
competing,
care,
you know,
yeah.
and DeMar DeRozan spazzes out on refs, so like that says everything.
DeAnjilo, who did you interview that said that they do it because fans come out and this is like a cheaper way for them to
All
see?
of them said
Oh, yeah,
that.
Yeah,
all
that's
of
pretty
them.
much all of
Yeah,
them.
I mean everybody that we've
I mean,
interviewed.
I think you're talking
Right,
about Darrell.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he
That was the
said it,
interview.
like he like really highlighted it, and all of them say it's because they grew up there, and it just means a lot to the community.
Yeah,
so it's
and
pretty
then
dope.
us getting the access that we have, we literally stay on the baseline. For those who don't know, we kind of stay in the corner, and like you see kids like asking for autographs, and these players are
pictures.
literally just walking by as part of the crowd. They're not hidden. They're a part of the group, and people are taking pictures, signing autographs. It's a really friendly environment.
and very respectful of the pros' time
Yeah.
too. They don't try and hold them up or just they just grab a picture or talk to them for
Right.
a second. It's a great exchange. It really feels good. It's not pretentious.
It
It's
isn't.
not
it's
anything.
dope. It's
So
so dope.
they do a really good job. So let's check out those James Harden highlights.
Yes, James Harden. I'm kind of mad that I couldn't attend this game.
He was in there doing what the beard does.
It's too easy for him. I feel like he got 25 and even try just
and
running-
blocked the last shot of the game with
Yeah.
big 50,
He's
I
so
mean, he
good.
better be able to get 25 without trying.
How nervous do you think this makes Mike D'Antoni to see him play in a league like this?
I mean,
Well-
this is
With Brandon Knight tearing his
ACL at
in
a pro-am.
game, yeah, I guess I'd be scared too.
It's always a risky run, but the reality is these guys are gonna run during. Yes, okay.
The defenders just stopped. They like, all right. Well,
Here's the thing, but didn't it
not
look
getting
like his
touchdowns.
lift was just mediocre?
He doesn't even like he's trying.
I
And this
know,
is-
it's effortless.
Right. And the Drew League is funny because sometimes it looks like the pros have such an easy time, and then there's other games where it looks like the pros are trying so hard, but there's nothing they could do because the competition's actually really fierce.
That's not.
We
That's-
saw
that's-
that
that's
with
enough, Steve. You can take it down
yeah,
if you
we
want.
saw that with DeMar DeRozan and Nick Young a couple of weeks ago on MHP. They were playing hometown favorites,
Yeah.
and they didn't get an opportunity to come back. The hometown favorites had no pros on their team
Yeah,
that day.
they lost.
Talking trash to James Harden.
I love it. I love it.
Let's not ignore those shorts. Like, we got to talk about the short limb James Harden. I don't want you to bring that back. Please
Yeah,
stop.
supposedly
doing
the fans were talking a lot of trash to him. I wonder what they were saying.
I mean, they talk trash. You're right there.
Yeah, that's part
That's
of the
what's
sport.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
you
That's
just-
part of being at it. You know,
Look at this. He's having
A
a hard
league
time
like
a little bit
this.
right there.
a little bit. You kind of worry when you see him going down. But one thing I will say, he looks like he's in really good shape. For
You got to be the run down the D'Antoni system.
but it's the off season. You know,
Yeah,
some guys can get lax in the off season. Maybe not work as hard.
Right.
I mean, I feel like it's part of the reason why they come down too. It keeps them in shape a little bit.
Yeah.
Keeps you
Little nice
playing
little
a little
run.
bit. Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's trying in these clips. He really doesn't.
And so
So I mean, yeah, like some of the top stars, definitely even James Harden, like they all come out. I think it's really dope.
Yeah.
To see guys like that come out and compete.
yeah, thank you, Stephen.
Steven in the booth.
Woo,
Steven
holding us down,
Giving us all
making
the
sure that all the visuals
Oh
are
yeah,
in
Steven
effect.
shot that actually. If
Did
y'all
he?
didn't
He
know.
came down on the low?
Yeah, shot it live,
Quietly
edited, and
for us?
uploaded it.
If
yeah.
you see a headshot with an afterbuzzer, Steven
It's
Lemieux.
Steven, yeah.
Shout out to that. What? Let's talk about the Rockets for a second because we
Yeah.
didn't get to talk about this last week. They're now up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Came out of the blue. Les Alexander, the owner, has been
Genius.
the owner for so long. He set the table. He locked down D'Antoni for years. He got a future Hall of Famer and Chris Paul to come in and steady the ship.
I'm out.
Locked in James Harden, their star franchise player, for a record deal, and has some nice pieces in place for them to be set up to basically shake and go for the next 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And people are wondering why he's selling. I will tell you that I also heard he put 4 of his homes on the market in April. So no one knows really why. It could just be, the valuation of the franchise is going to be obviously way over $1 billion with all the sales now.
This is why he's selling. You ready? They just traded for Chris Paul. There's never been more hype around the Houston Rockets than there is right now. And there never will be more hype.
Right.
Because they're not going to
They're
do
gonna win
anything with this team.
championship.
So right now, he's selling high. It's genius. You just got Chris Paul. You have James Harden coming off potential MVP season. A great season. D'Antoni's a fun coach. The team's a fun team to watch. There are legitimate expectations for
They
this
might
team.
get Carmelo Anthony.
They might get Carmelo. So sell high. He's selling high. It's smart. Because when they lose in the second round of the playoffs next year, it's not going to be worth as much.
True indeed. How do you feel about it, DeAnjilo? Do you think that it's just like nothing but higher?
I mean that, and who knows from he could be trying to downsell some money situations for him too. But
Yeah.
I think from the standpoint of the Rockets, I agree. This is maybe the most they'll be worth like for a long time because the season hasn't started, so there's buzz, and I mean again they're gonna. James Harden's gonna choke. Chris Paul's gonna get hurt. But so like for right now, I think it's a great opportunity. And if
Sell
they
high.
get Carmelo, oh my God.
Sell high.
As a player, though, do you think that they are having concerns because the team is for sale, and even though all of this is
don't
coming
think so.
together, you think
It doesn't change
If I was a
there.
player, I don't care.
Yeah, their coach is there. The team is there. It's,
If your
I
coach
mean,
is
it could
there,
be a
and
change of
even the GM,
culture.
you might have a relationship with the GM. Like LeBron had a relationship with David Griffin, and he was kind of upset when he left. But the owner, not really. Actually, you know what? I'm a Knicks fan. I can't say that because James Dolan has completely ruined our franchise. So
Fair.
maybe it does.
I mean, because you never know what type of ownership is going to come in and take over. Are you going to get an owner like Mark Cuban or
James Dolan.
correct?
I mean, we've heard like
Dan Gilbert?
Yeah, Dikembe Mutombo and his getting a team together to do it. So like maybe it'll be another former familiar face Rocket. So.
And even with the Clippers, you had what's his name? Who
Balmer.
before Bob?
Donald Sterling.
Sterling.
Right. So
Yeah.
maybe now that I'm
be
actually
good.
thinking about that question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question, Joe. Good job.
So, good job. So, there are more changes happening in the NBA next season. Since we didn't do our fan fashion segment, we do have a fashion segment that involves Nike. the new uniforms, Nike takes over from Adidas for the NBA uniforms next season, and they are doing away with home and away jerseys. They are calling the white typical home jerseys the association editions. Then
Just call them the white jerseys. Go ahead.
I mean the home white. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry, the home whites. Do you know what I mean?
He doesn't like that they're. He doesn't like the cheesy name that they're giving them. But
These are the associations.
associations.
you gotta give him a little marketing.
And tonight, the
you got a
Knicks are
little
wearing
branding.
their association jerseys. No, just okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then, that's fine. There is an icon edition, which I'm assuming is your standard away version. Listen, Nike is all about the story. Nike is all about the backstory. And
Right.
as long as they're doing away with the jerseys, I'm happy.
I hate the jerseys.
The jerseys
I hate the
were the
jerseys.
most awful thing ever. Remember
Yeah.
LeBron wanting to almost tear those
He got
off?
over it.
And,
You know what? I don't like. We all grew up playing in T-shirts when we played basketball.
true.
Like I don't understand why it's that big of a deal.
They don't.
because
I
the
really
jerseys
don't.
were ugly, because it was a T-shirt under a jersey, not melded all together with
I
a
didn't hate it.
V-neck. Yeah, it's not
didn't hate
cute.
it.
And then there's the athlete's mindset, which is going to be something, creatively inspired by the team, something. And then a community one, which is where you see
that
things
sounds cool.
like, where they have Latino Heritage Night or different things for
Okay.
different teams. And the athlete's mindset can also be, maybe a throwback or something like
Right.
that. So we have a photo of like the silhouettes, not of the actual jerseys. We've seen a few, but so it sounded like, Josh, you're not feeling the concept
No,
because
I'm feeling
they're
the
doing away with
concept.
home
It's
and
just the
away.
names
names
are
are
cheesy.
corny. Like you don't have to name the white jersey, the association. Like just say the white jerseys. Like
Because they're trying to set, I'm telling you, Nike believes in,
Yeah.
part of why they're so successful is that they
Branding.
create a legend in every piece. Everything has a story
silhouettes are
to it.
cool.
Everything comes together. The silhouettes are a little smaller. They're a little different from the Adidas jerseys. I never like Adidas team apparel. It doesn't work for me. So.
I think. I mean, outside, I do agree with Josh. The names are a little like but whatever.
A much.
You got to
A bit
market
much.
and brand it. But I like the concept that home teams probably won't have to wear white jerseys every time. Like you know
love
what I
that
mean? You
too,
get a
yeah.
lot of flexibility with jersey choosing and a lot of different colors. Obviously, fans have more stuff to buy. Like it's a win-win. I don't see
a
a
win
losing
for
situation.
everybody.
yeah, I agree with DeAnjilo. I love when the home team wears their colors.
Yeah.
I think it looks so good. And then vice versa, when the road team wears white, I think it looks good too. I love it.
So you like the switch
Yeah, I
up.
like the switch up, but I do like the idea of wearing whatever you want to wear. That's cool
Yeah.
because that's how you are in basketball. Like, well, I just feel like wearing black today. I feel like wearing blue. Like,
So I think it's definitely. I don't see any cons from it except for the
See any
cheesy names.
cons?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you like them? Are you feeling them?
Some.
Some of them. We got to see what the jerseys look
yeah,
like.
some of them are getting out of control because some teams have some weird colors or some weird ideas, and like the Knicks used to wear an all orange jersey, and they never wanted it, by the way. But that's
Oh, the
disgusting.
orange cream ones.
Yeah.
See, man, I like those jerseys. Look.
Knickerbockers.
Ugh.
It's like legendary
And
stuff
orange is my
there.
favorite color too. I don't like it as a uniform though.
It's kind of bright.
Yeah, it's too bright. It's like traffic cones.
Or prison jumpsuits.
Yeah, prison jumpsuits.
One of the two. You
Yeah.
know. So, all right. Now that we've talked about all the pros that were Drew League setting
Right.
up for the playoffs this weekend, week 10, and of course, we're sure there's going to be more pros out. Also, shout out to Frank Nitti. For the past 2 weeks, his dunks have been incredible.
Yeah.
He plays on the same team with rapper The Game, so Game has been showing out. I think that they
Yeah.
are also highly in playoff contention, so... last thing about the Drew League, August 2nd at Southwest College, it is the Drew League versus the Seattle Pro-Am, which Jamal Crawford, formerly of the Clippers, teardrop.
It's all right.
Really sad about that.
He's getting old.
currently with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, you're not interested to see that. You're not interested in the Timberwolves, what they're going to be like this
Me
fall.
personally? I think they're gonna-
That's gonna be interesting. It's just an interesting compiling of talent. I think.
I'm with DeAnjilo. I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's going to work though because just Wiggins doesn't do anything besides score. You got Jimmy
He's
Butler.
about to get paid so much.
Yeah, I mean he's
kinda
athletic
understand that.
and he can play D when he wants to play D. I think he's going to turn into be a very good defender. But offensively, I just don't know how they're going to share the ball really. I mean, I think Teague actually fits them very nice. I'm glad they didn't get a shoot first point guard. Teague can score if he wants to, but he also
Spot-up
looks.
guy,
yeah, he doesn't mind passing the ball. I think he's going to fit them very nicely. But between Butler, Towns, and Wiggins, it's just
The Golden State mindset. I feel like more
But-
teams are trying to
Tom
adapt that.
Thibodeau is not the coach for that, but I'll say that I
True.
think what I think will work is the fact that when Jimmy Butler got traded, he was like, I don't need to be the star anymore. I got that experience. I'm fine. Like I think that means he's gonna be okay with his numbers coming down, which I think is just gonna be necessary.
but it has to come way down. I mean, him or Wiggins are.
Wiggins is going to be the number 3 guy for sure.
But I don't think Wiggins has that personality to be the number 3 guy because, like I said, all he does on the offensive end is really shoot the ball. He doesn't really get bored. He doesn't really pass the ball. He doesn't create for others. It's just, I'm going to take so and so many shots, and is what it is. And that can lead to some dysfunction on the offensive end, especially when you have Jimmy Butler now who can score. You have Karl-Anthony Towns who can score. It's a lot of mouths to feed. And then they got Taj Gibson, which I don't understand because Towns can play outside.
He's there for kind of his defense,
right? But
though,
now
right?
he's going to clog the lane a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I don't like what they did at all. But I could be wrong. They have talent.
They are more talented than they were last year.
I think they're very overrated. I think they're very overrated
we'll
now.
see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, back to the point. Jamal Crawford's sponsored Pro-Am.
That's how we got there.
That's how he got there.
Yeah.
They
Drew
will
League
be playing
versus-
Drew League versus the Seattle Pro-Am August 2nd at Southwest College.
Who's in that league?
Other than Jamal Crawford.
Probably Nate Robinson. I'm not sure.
Right,
There's a
Nate.
couple of
Yeah.
other players that were from Seattle. Maybe Terrence Williams. I think he was in the league for a short period of time. He's also from the area.
Yeah, we know Terrence.
And a couple of other
And
Seattle
do we know
players.
which Drew League team is competing against them yet?
I'm not sure yet what the compilation will be. I guess maybe
cool,
we'll
though.
find out this weekend. But that's a cool little look. Another way to get up close and personal with NBA stars and local
Right.
pros.
So now going into this weekend, we have 4 teams left, right?
This is the final week of the regular season.
This is the
before
final
playoffs
week of the
start.
regular
So a
season.
I
couple
thought the
teams.
playoffs started last week. They said 1 versus 8.
No.
Jeez.
This is the final
Oh,
weekend.
last week
10.
was 1. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So final week of the regular season, and then it's 8 teams making the playoffs.
Yep.
It's going to be on and
Nice.
popping.
And
Get-
we know
get your-
LA Unified is
Right.
get your popcorn ready. LA Unified, Panthers, hometown favorites are up in there.
Right.
BB4L, are they?
Yeah.
BB4L, yeah, they've been on a tear.
Yeah, we'll get that.
I'm not sure of Keon's team. I have to check.
Happy birthday, Keon, yesterday.
That's right. Shout out to Keon Kenner, the gatekeeper of Los Angeles
Happy belated
basketball.
big
He always blesses us with a lot of information
Yeah.
and stuff coming through. So let's move over to NBA news.
Okay.
Let's talk about number 2 not wanting to be number 2 anymore.
Oh, poor Kyrie.
Cavs drama. There's so many layers to this. There's so many things to unpack. Kind of open discussion. I'll let you take the floor, Josh, because I know that you have an opinion on everything that's going on. I know I have an opinion, being as Kyrie's mentor and go-to kind of ears Kobe Bryant, even though Kobe says he's over there making short videos and investing. He's not into this, but
I think Kyrie's sick of being in the shadows of LeBron James. You know, he's one of the best players in the league, top 15 probably, and I think he wants his own team to prove to people that, hey, I'm one of the best players in the league too. It's not just LeBron. He did hit the game-winning shot in the NBA Finals 2 years ago, and I think it's bothering him that a lot of people just want to talk about the block, you know, or like LeBron carried that team. I mean, Kyrie did his part as well, so I think he's frustrated in that aspect. It's coming out from his camp that he's also frustrated with the lack of stability in the Cavaliers front office. But at the same time, if you have a team that's guaranteed to go to the NBA Finals, you stick it out.
But I think, I'm not sure if you heard Richard Jefferson on his Road Tripping
that's right.
podcast
Right, yeah.
made some excellent points. And also, there's been some excellent points about LeBron. LeBron set up this model. Kevin Durant mentioned it when he was discussing his move to the Warriors, where players are trying to be a little bit more in control of their own destiny.
Yeah.
In free agency.
In free agency. But for Kyrie, should Kyrie wait to see what
got 3
LeBron's
more
going to
years left on
do
his contract, too.
before he sort of directs his future?
When you have a one-way ticket to the NBA Finals, I think so.
That's obviously not his top priority anymore.
But
When
I mean, he's been to the
because you don't
finals.
lead that team if
yeah,
your
he's been to the
priority's
finals
winning.
3 straight times. He didn't play the first year. He has a ring now. He's been an all-star consistently, and to the point of Richard saying the team has been so unstable since he came in. He came on after LeBron left as the number 1 team. The pieces around him were, they languished in the bottom. Then there was the power struggle when LeBron came back of whose team is it really?
It was no power struggle. He made it. He thought it was a power struggle.
But I mean, in the tradition of Kobe and Shaq, Kobe and Penny,
This is not the same thing.
it's similar though. Don't you think it's similar?
It is, but there's 2 variables. One, the NBA loses from the situation if Kyrie Irving gets traded because the East is just. I mean, what is there to look forward to in the finals, the NBA Finals?
They have Derrick Rose.
Anyway, so
That's a former MVP, and he did okay for the Knicks once he got.
Darren Williams used to be the best point guard in the NBA.
Yeah, he
Past does
did.
not matter.
yeah, agree.
Great point. All right, moving on.
And then the other losing situation is that Kyrie, you want to be the best player, right? You want to go to another team. you're going to go to another team, you're going to realize that situations like that you were in are very unique. The fact that you have like Damian Lillard said it, who doesn't want to go to the finals every year? So you'll be the star guy, but any team that you request is not going to be as good of a situation as that. You don't understand how much pressure LeBron took off of you, like from those situations.
But he does. But here's the thing. But he does understand because he played for how many years before LeBron got there.
It doesn't mean he understands, because if he understood, he wouldn't want to go anywhere.
That's not true. At a certain point, I mean, if that's the case, then Kobe and Shaq should have never wanted to separate.
They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have. It was ridiculous that they did.
How you know how many more championships they would
But
have
the
won?
thing, but sometimes I agree.
They say that.
They broke up my dynasty, and they say that now. But the point is, sometimes in order for a player to grow as a player, he has to go out from under the shadow. Think about how much disrespect Scottie Pippen receives. Right? One of the top 50 players because he stayed so long with Jordan. People think Jordan carried him, and they don't understand Jordan never made it too far. I mean, did he make it past Detroit before Pippen got there?
No.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
And then on top of that, when Jordan left and retired, the Bulls only won 2 fewer games without Jordan. People forget that too. Like they were just as good the next season, lost to 7 to the Knicks, who eventually went to the NBA Finals. They could have easily won Game 7 if it wasn't for a blown call by one of the referees, and I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm telling you that. So they could have won that series. Yeah. The Bulls were just as good. But I get what you're saying. I don't think Kyrie's at that level, though. I think if you give Kyrie a team, I don't think it... In the West, he's not making the playoffs. In the East, maybe. I'm a Knicks fan.
Not even with his choices. He picked San Antonio, Miami,
right.
The Knicks. That's just hometown love. That's just to be home. And I don't know why you would want to go in dysfunction, but
Melo stays and Kristaps Porzingis. And
I don't think that he wants to go there with Melo.
If Melo stays and Kyrie comes, that's a disaster. It has.
I think so too. Yes. Yes,
because
it's almost the same thing. It's an ego bash in the same way. You know?
It'd be bad. I think him and KP could coexist, but Kyrie has to change his mindset, and I'm worried that his mindset is I got to prove this, I got to prove that, and he's gonna come out taking 28 shots a game, not worry about his other teammates. I mean, that was why LeBron and Kyrie clashed at first, because during the first couple months of the season, during their first season together, Kyrie wasn't making plays for other people. There were games where he literally had 0 assists. How are you a point guard and have 0 assists? You should run into assist by accident as a point guard. And
that's part of it. That's still a problem with his game, I would say.
Right.
That he's a shoot first point guard.
Right.
And I don't know if that could be an alpha on a team. Like,
and he doesn't
be the top guy.
And he doesn't realize that LeBron makes his job easier because LeBron gets everyone else involved. He does what Kyrie's supposed to do, and then he goes, "Here, Kyrie, you do what you do." So he does Kyrie's job for him, and then lets Kyrie does whatever he wants. It's crazy, man. That Kyrie doesn't realize that LeBron is literally his perfect teammate.
Maybe he does, but he this ego thing. He just wants to be the top guy from now on. And I do understand the aspect of it's just annoying to have LeBron be like, I don't know what he's going to do. He could be gone. I can see that as frustrating, but I will wait 3 years. I would wait till I get to free agency and I could pick my team. Not a request a trade where you're not going to go where you want to go. Look at Paul George's situation.
I mean, but Paul George is not necessarily in a bad situation. He's in a 1-year rental. He could have been in Indiana. He's in OKC for a year. They're definitely, more than likely they'll end up in the playoffs. And they might be the same type of run he would have had with the Pacers. And then he gets to make his choice with wherever he wants to go, whether he wants to stay and sign with OKC and exercise his bird rights, or come to the Lakers, or go wherever. So Paul George, Lonzo Ball, and LeBron next summer, 18? That's
possible.
What we're talking about?
It's possible.
It's possible.
Also, winners, the Wizards could make the finals.
They could.
I mean, shout out to John Wall signing his extension. There is also a rumor of possibly talks of maybe the Celtics and Cavs switching out and sending Kyrie to the Celtics for Isaiah Thomas and maybe Jay Crowder or something like that. How are you feeling about something like that?
I'm already worried about how Isaiah Thomas is going to coexist with Gordon Hayward and now Jason Tatum. Now, I can't imagine Kyrie, because Tatum needs the ball consistently for him to do what he does. Gordon doesn't necessarily need the ball, but he's also a star that you kind of have to feed. So I don't think Isaiah's going to... I think Isaiah's going to take a step back next year. And I think if you add Kyrie instead of Isaiah, it might be a slight upgrade, but it still might cause some friction, because Brad Stevens is the type of coach who likes to run set offenses. He likes to have, movement in his offense, and I don't think Kyrie fits that. Kyrie can... There's certain amount of offense.
I think Miami is the best. Spurs, are the Spurs.
Yeah, but Dion Waiters is there, and they hate each other.
Oh,
Dion Waiters would be part of that trade. if it happened, which is weird because Dion Waiters hates
Just
LeBron
signed,
too.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
fair point by
Maybe a
DeAnjilo.
third team would get involved at that.
There's no trade situation where I see it really makes sense that he'll be competing still. And then I really doubt that the Cavs will trade him to the Celtics
Yeah.
off of just some petty stuff. But
Right.
we'll see. I hope he gets traded. It'll be fun to watch wherever that happens.
I still think he's going to start the season with the Cavs.
You think so?
And yeah, that they'll kind of see what happens.
I'm with you.
The GM that has just been hired, it was the assistant GM.
Yeah.
I believe his name is Kobe. So he's
Yeah.
kind of in a win-win situation for someone like himself, just because he's been with the franchise, so he has a bit of the history on his side. If the team does well, makes it back to the finals and makes it through, he looks like a genius for holding it together. If it falls apart, well, there's the specter of LeBron leaving, Kyrie, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You know, there are not too many high expectations for him, whereas with someone else, it might stain them further. So
Yeah.
I think he just kind of has to play this one out.
Yeah, I'm with you on
It
that.
was interesting hearing Chauncey Billups talk about that everything afterwards, like why he didn't take the position and that he felt murmurs. Like, not that he said he knew Kyrie was going to leave, but like he felt the instability of the situation. I mean, obviously, there's probably a lot of reasons why he didn't get the position, but it was interesting.
Well, no,
hearing him share
I mean,
that.
they lowballed him too.
Yeah,
so.
that too. So, and Kobe Altman, I just looked it up. Yeah.
Kobe Altman, okay. Shout out to you, Kobe Altman. Congratulations.
Congratulations on your promotion.
Difficult
brother.
role, but you know, you kind of have a better vantage point than maybe someone else coming in off the street.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he has a relationship with LeBron.
What an off season has been. It's been very fun and eventful. NBA off season never disappoints. I've really enjoyed
Exciting.
it. Yeah.
So let's continue talking a little bit about player development and things. We mentioned his name, the Lakers, Lonzo Ball. Obviously,
Is he playing in the
generated
Drew
lo-
this league, this year?
He has. I'm wondering if he's going to come down. I'm surprised he hasn't come down. Now that summer league's over,
Well, he's
and
hurt,
things-
right? Didn't he hurt himself?
They
well,
probably
they
shut
said
him down.
little calf strain. I don't think. I mean, they could have, but. I mean, LaMelo could play, and he could at least come to the sideline. It is.
LaMelo.
I'm just shouting out all the
What's the
balls.
middle brother?
LaAngelo?
What's the
LaAngelo?
LaAngelo?
LaAngelo, yeah.
DeAngelo's. Let's take the D out. Put the
LaMelo.
La.
You know.
I mean, they have high schoolers there. I mean, Marvin Bagley killed. Oh, remember we saw Marvin Bagley?
Yeah, he's gonna be really
He's
good.
unreal.
And there's talk that he was thinking about
Yes.
foregoing his senior year and going straight to college.
Because when we watched him, and I'm like, wow, he's
a
like
grown man.
giving it to DeRozan, man. He was, I wouldn't say killing DeRozan, but he looked like he can go
It
toe
was
to toe
nice.
with one of the best pros in the league.
We have an interview with him next week coming up.
We'll drop
Shout out
that
to
for you. We'll drop
DeAngelo.
that.
But for the Lakers, obviously Julius Randle has been in the weight room. He's put on some good weight, so he
Yeah.
looks like he's gonna, be able to defend a little better. You don't want to put on too much weight because that definitely affects your jump shot.
He looks good.
He looks good. He was, Player of the Week for Week 9 at the Drew League. So I know we've talked about this to death, but what are your thoughts for the Lakers next season? What are your thoughts? What about the
Josh?
development? Do you think that they'll gel any?
I don't really think they're looking to judge. I think that it's kind of like a tryout year. It's like, all right, who's going to fit into what our future plans are going to be? I think they really want to see Lonzo develop, see how he can, perform against elite competition. The West has a bunch of point guards every night. You're going to like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. So it's going to be a test for Lonzo. I think players like Julius, Larry Nance are going to see, all right, are they worth keeping? If not, let's ship
Jordan
them.
Clarkson?
Yeah, those type players. So I don't really think the Lakers are necessarily looking to win games. I just think they're looking for these right lineups and chemistry. Like, you might see 15, 20 different starting lineups just to see who can play with who.
The Kentavious Caldwell-Pope sound is really good too because it's like 1 year contract. If he works out, he's an asset for
Right.
middle of the season to trade or like anything like that. I think they've made some really good decisions, but it's all contingent upon Lonzo Ball being an adequate point guard.
Same with Brook Lopez, 1 year.
Yeah.
It's a tryout. It's one big tryout. That's what it seems like to me.
You know what's interesting? Lakers always have a high season ticket renewal rate, but it's gone up since Lonzo's Summer League
yeah.
appearance.
Oh, yeah.
We also know that ratings obviously went up for Summer League. I mean, ESPN is showing Summer League games
Shoot, I was tuning in to see.
Yeah.
to see what he's doing, and the players seem to like playing with him, and he likes feeding them. So I'm excited to see kind of what shakes out.
He's a phenomenal passer. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
actually,
unreal.
Well, maybe we'll run that too. But I got to talk to Corey Brewer at one of the red carpets, and I was talking to him about it, and he sounded excited about it too.
We
so.
absolutely need to talk
Yeah,
about it.
we
Corey
will.
Brewer came over from the Houston. Wait,
He's been everywhere.
He's been
everywhere.
he signed
Okay.
with them in the middle of the. I think he's part of the Louisville trade actually.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what it is.
So
yeah.
then, he was talking about, man, I'm just been working on my jumper because I know I'm going to get a lot of open looks. So that gives a lot of perspective on the guys, the teammates, and what Lonzo Ball affects them.
So yeah, so definitely we're gonna run that for you next week. So any other NBA news, guys?
Not really. I mean, that's a lot for the whole season, to be honest.
I know, right?
It's popping,
We didn't
yeah.
even talk about Kevin Durant popping off on Twitter
yeah, I
yesterday.
heard about that.
Here's the thing about KD. I need him to talk to Draymond about his comebacks and
he
his
got work. That was
comment
tough.
clapping. He goes back and forth too much. He gives him a little too much energy. You hit him with a one-liner
And
and
you
keep
bounce
it
out.
moving.
And you
That's why he's a
bounce
cupcake. I love you, KD.
No comment on
Yeah,
that.
that Draymond one was ugly, but yeah, KD.
You know, that's all. Yeah, Draymond kind of got smacked by Conor McGregor this weekend. Twice because he wasn't aware. Backstory, in case you somehow missed it, Conor McGregor was rocking a number 23 Warriors jersey, but not Draymond 23, CJ Watson years ago, number 23. And that was actually a jab at Floyd Mayweather because that's why Floyd went to jail, allegedly,
Right.
you know, because CJ was calling one of his baby's moms. But anyway, Draymond tried to clap back on Instagram and
I've
kind of
learned
got
that
shut
Conor
down.
McGregor is very good at trash talking. That
He
is like some
is.
very insightful A-level research type stuff. Now, I was
Right,
impressed by
that is like trolling on another
a
level.
whole nother level.
You
And
know?
Draymond fell right into it.
He did. We're rolling with Floyd. We don't got no love for you. He's like, look,
Sometimes you take L sometimes.
Yeah.
I
That
dribble
was a
heads
heavy
off
L.
the floor. I don't care about basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody takes an L.
That was a heavy L.
Except for us. We don't take any L's here at AfterBuzz. We're on point. You are too. Week 10 at the Drew League coming up this weekend. Make sure you're back with us next week because we have a bunch of interviews for you. And we'll see what other pros show up this weekend at the Drew League. And looking forward to the playoffs.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And more pros. I want James Harden to stick around. I want to see DeRozan. I want to see Harden. I want to see Drummond. I want to see everybody.
So,
I hope
I
they
mean,
stay. And then maybe some surprise appearances.
There's always some surprise
Yeah.
appearances, so I look forward to that. Well, I'm Jill Munroe. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill. Josh, once again, where can they find you?
You can follow me everywhere at Josh_Rodriguez_ Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Venmo.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Venmo. Send money.
Yes.
We accept tips. No, I'm just playing.
Yes, we do. You can hit me up at Twitter I'm DeAnjilo TV and on Instagram at DeAnjilo. We out, right?
We out. Make sure that you give us a thumbs up on YouTube, 5 stars if you're listening to this on iTunes. Hit us back here next week for Drew League Weekly. Thanks for checking us out, guys.
Deuces.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.